Hello and welcome everybody to LCS Challengers League, where we find ourselves in round 4 with another best of 5 ahead of us. Elimination on the line for 2 teams playing today. I'm Kangas. I'll be walking you through the action, and we got Deserix, my bald brother, on the cast.
Yeah, let's go ahead and touch domes real quick for the blessing of the rest of the broadcast. Come on, see, get over here. Get over here.
Touch.
No, I'm lean towards the.
Oh.
Okay, you know what that works.
That way. Sorry. Okay, all right. Touch this way.
Touch.
Pop.
Okay,
There we go.
Okay, now we can get to Cubby. Now
that we've made everyone uncomfortable, let's have Cubby reel us back in. How's it going, Cubby?
Hey. What's up?
What's wrong, buddy?
A lot of things, man.
Are you feeling left out?
Quite the intro.
I hope you know.
Hey, I got some trimmers, man. I can bring them over if you want to join us.
You know,
we can try that out.
I'm gonna stick with this. All right. I like this. This is all I got going for me, guys. I'm sorry.
Cubby was so frozen by that intro, our producer literally said, I think Cubby froze. So congrats for committing to the bit.
We did a good job, Steve.
I'm working on my acting.
Well, outside of our chaotic intros here on the show, we want to get into the action of the day, starting off with a very fun conversation. Most Valuable Prospect is right around the corner. We'll be unveiling more players that are in the top 5 going forward. But first, we wanted to talk about some players that we wanted to give a nod to based on their performance. So let's take a look. Well, it's that time of year again where we start looking at the most valuable prospect list for Spring Split. But before we get into the top 5, we wanted to acknowledge some players that were in the conversation for the award, but are not eligible either because they've already promoted to LCS this split, or because they played in a major region in their last split. But they still played fantastic, so we wanted to shout them out. Let's take a look.
Tomo has shown twice now, when the chips are down, he can step up to the LCS level. First in summer 2021 for FlyQuest, and now for Dignitas this spring. He has shown that he can dominate the competition in Challengers just as well as he can hang with the LCS ADCs. With Diamond, the support he has played with for almost 3 years by his side in lane, he was a nuisance, which meant by the time team fights rolled around, he wasn't just a part of the problem, he was the entire problem. He may have subbed in for the last place LCS team, but we're proud of the performances he has shown in LCS and Challengers.
Bolulu, the Turkish terror, took a pay cut to join the LCS Challengers League and rapidly became one of the most exciting additions to the league in 2023. Bolulu demonstrates mastery over some of the most difficult tasks in the game, switching targets and holding abilities for their maximum effectiveness. In addition, his Zoe is not only the best in the league, but easily among the best in the world. Now that he's playing in LCS, his constant efforts to turn around lost games and impeccable awareness of what is happening in teamfights will continue to elevate any team he joins.
Eminus was the clear standout mid laner from the split. From his incredible stats, his dominant laning, and his ability to force his opponents to make mistakes, it is no surprise that Cloud9 decided to promote him to the LCS, and it's honestly no surprise that he is finding so much success there. It's very rare that we have a player so far above the others in a developmental league, but Eminus is just at that level.
If this was a traditional Most Valuable Player award, Unforgiven would be a shoo-in to take the victory. He has been so ridiculous this split that we feel like we can't even vote for him for the Most Valuable Prospect award given what he has achieved in the past. The biggest compliment that we can give Unforgiven is that the first team LEC All-Pro from last year, it feels like his form hasn't dipped at all here in the Challengers League. Unforgiven has given us ridiculous moments, ridiculous highlight clips, and has been so damn consistent in his play. We just feel like he is already a proven talent, and he has proved that. Given his pedigree, it is expected of him to be the best player in the league, and guess what? Unforgiven has hit that mantle every time he has stepped on the Rift. That is the biggest compliment that we can give to Unforgiven this split. His play has been fantastic. We're excited to see more of him moving forward.
It wouldn't have felt right to finish out the split without at least acknowledging Bolulu, Eminus, Unforgiven, and Tomo for all the incredible plays that they had throughout the split. But now we're excited to get into our top 5 most valuable prospect award that we will be unveiling throughout the coming weeks. So make sure that you're following twitch.tv/Challengers League and twitch.tv/PatTheLCS so you don't miss out on any of it. I'll see you there. Thank you, person who threw it to me. Very handsome. I like the shirt. Good look. That is Most Valuable Prospect nods for the players that would have been in the running, but were taken out of consideration due to other factors. But that leads us into the actual top 5, where we are happy this week to announce number 5. I believe we already showed this yesterday, but we wanted to show it again to give a proper nod to number 5 for Most Valuable Prospect list.
Number 5 for Most Valuable Prospect in Spring 2023 is Yukino. Yukino brings all of the intangibles.
Because again, Unforgiven, big target, and oh wait a minute.
Yukino trying to get a lot of attention, and he's doing such a great job. Yukino,
God.
you think you pick him out, but the 16-year-old.
You hear him lauded by everyone around him for being a positive light.
They're gonna knock him up with a flag and drag. Cataclysm.
Oh, the bear.
And the bear burns them all down, baby. Doxa doesn't have flash, so he can't work his way out. There's another flag and drag from Yukino.
He learns, he adapts. He also has that competitive drive needed to be successful. It's not just the intangibles though. He brings a 70% KP to the table. He facilitates his team on the likes of the Sejuanis, the Wukongs, the Vi's. He makes everyone around him look better, and doing so makes him look better. That is why Yukino is one of our MVP frontrunners.
And that was the silky smooth chops of Mazel, bringing you our number 5 prospect in Yukino. Cubby, a rookie too, who kind of was in the shadow of Sniper coming in as the higher expected rookie top laner coming into the league, but Yukino really kind of carved a niche for himself.
Yeah, honestly, I was pretty surprised that us as a team had Yukino at number 5. I think that he left a really good impression on a lot of us as a broadcast. I think that the biggest praise we can give Yukino is that I think that his coaches talk a lot about his maturity behind the scenes, which, given the fact that he is such a young rookie, one of the younger players we have in the league, I think it does say a lot about Yukino moving forward. And for me, I think when it comes to his play, we've seen some of the good game planning that I heard about coming in. I'm still looking for a little bit more for Yukino before he really starts to become one of the front runners that I had for this split and also moving forward. But again, for a rookie split, I think Yukino has done more than just say, like, hey, I should be playing again next split, right? And that's really all we can ask from some of our young players. So glad that we had Mazel highlight Yukino and the nice split that he had.
And I will tease a little bit. This was one of the more contested top 5 MVP discussions that we've had in the history of the broadcast. But let's take a look at the broadcast ahead of us and the bracket as well. Desirux, we've bid farewell to so many teams, and we're going to say goodbye to another as we will have our top 4 after today.
You know, Emily was bringing up something that we didn't really notice during the lower bracket, but FlyQuest has kind of low-key been provisional killers. They've been knocking them off one by one after the next, and now they stand up against Fear, our best provisional team in the space. And the way this bracket is shaped up, I'm very proud of Fear being able to get into that top 6 space. This next win is going to mean so much for both these squads.
I also just want to give a shout out to Team Liquid Challengers, to make top 4. These guys were the number 9 seed coming into the playoffs. This is a roster that 4 out of the 5 players are different. I think the only Mir and Arrow obviously bring a lot of experience to that roster, but also APA, calling him rookies a bit, it almost feels disingenuous given how long I've been casting APA, but I think that he's had a fantastic split. And also Kim Down, he got a shout out from his coach Spawn yesterday on Twitter. I think his Renata has been massive. He's one of the only players actually playing Renata in this tournament. And the fact TLC are in top 4 again, given what they've accomplished, now what they've done with a totally new roster, it says a ton about their staff and what's going on behind the scenes there at Team Liquid. So really impressive stuff from them.
But speaking of staff, the matchup ahead of us today between Fear and FlyQuest Challengers. Both these teams have unique ways of building their rosters going into the split, and we wanted to take an opportunity to highlight that as well because we caught up with Spyrex in week 1 to hear about how the core stuck together. So let's take a look.
Most of us had heard that you, Yuji, and Philip were trying to do your best to remain together as like a trio package during the off season. If you ended up staying on FlyQuest or if you guys were, taken as interest by another org, why is that?
We thought me, Yuji, and Philip made a lot of growth throughout the entirety of last year, and thought that if we were to stay together, we could show up pretty big and have some good results.
A roster that wanted to stick together, at least that core, the 3 core from FlyQuest Challengers saying, nope, this is one that we think we can build around and improve with. And conversely, on the side of Cincinnati Fear, there are 5 players that wanted to play together. I actually had a chance to catch up with Perry last night to chat about that.
So the roster kind of started with me and Manui. We really wanted to play with each other after the offseason, after my time on Dig. And we didn't get any academy jobs, so we were like, okay, well, we're playing this split together, and we wanted the best for each other, and we really wanted to move out. Both of us, we realized like we're pretty young, and we've been living with our parents our whole lives. We're not gonna have really time to get our own experiences as people living away from home. We have a little friend group. Faisal, Chochi, and Trevor are always around, and turns out they're all playing their own role. So we're like, okay, they're all like, sure, totally. Let's make this happen. Let's go up to orgs and let's say, hey, take us, please. As a 5, we did not want to leave any player behind. Minute we started calling a bunch of homes to see like, hey, can we rent out a home? So it took over 100 phone calls. Everyone got their visa, everyone got their airplane ticket sorted. We ended up going with Fear, or Fear wanted us to. Everything really clicked. Yeah, so like winning against FlyQuest it's gonna mean a lot. Like we really want to take them down. I want to take UG down especially. I think they're completely beatable. I think we're all a little bit frustrated that we couldn't take a single game off C9. So we're going to go in tomorrow's match ready to destroy them. We're ready.
They're ready, Desterix. They're feeling good. They want to take down FlyQuest, and specifically, Perry's looking at UG.
And you know, a team that stays together slays together, right? And yeah, they've had a great amount of growth going out throughout the season. I remember at the start of the season, we saw them as just a team that plays more for their top end of the map. But man, they've developed. They've taken the time to balance out what it means to be, you know, friends under house and what it means to be players under house as well. And they've been one of the most impressive teams to watch have that growth throughout the season.
And they're up against FlyQuest Challengers as well here. Their opposition on the Rift, who are kind of coming in hot right now, Cubby.
I think it's so cool how each of these teams, they did want to play together behind the scenes. And I think the biggest compliment I can give each of these teams coming into the day is the fact that teams around the league compliment each of these teams for how they play the map as a team. And also, I think that each of these teams have really improved throughout the split. So it makes it even more exciting to see today's best of 5 and who can make that illustrious top 4.
So with that in mind, because both these teams have so much motivation to pick up this win, and the stories is carrying both of them, I wanted to play a little bit of a game to get us into to the show today. We're going to have some fun with this intro. We're taking a little bit more time with this one. I'm going to have each of you present to me a win condition for one of the teams, or you know, however you want to frame it. How is this team going to pick up the win? Cubby, you're going to be up first, so have you prepared your presentation? I know that you're working on it like 5 minutes up until we started. Wow,
okay.
This is incredible.
Hold on. All right.
Woo, Cubby
Pog production.
Cubby
All right,
Pog production. Let's see it.
I got FlyQuest. So first off, no Wukong. All right, Perry's Wukong. It is insane. I think the Wukong is actually the dominant pick on the patch. Just get this out of Perry's hands,
what
guys.
Is
Perry,
this image.
He's 8-1 on the Wukong, so that's like a spin to win, you know. Anyway, moving on. FlyC draft needs. All right, deny the Seraphine, Olaf Wukong. I think that's key. There are ways you can counter the Olaf. I'm not as confident that Philip's gonna be able to do that. I don't think it's how Fly want to play too. Also, red side preferred. FlyQuest, I think they actually gave away a lot going up against Wildcard. They first picked Fiora. I think part of that is against Moose Hater. But I also think that FlyQuest really wants to stretch the map to make really good decisions at these parts of the game. Take smart trades. This is an image from that series going up against AoE, actually. This was an instance where this game, their comp's really difficult to play. It's about stretching the map. Talia, you know, Graves Rakan, Graves Rush Umbral for the control. You can see the map state right now. Getting rid of Rift Herald, giving that away to AoE, but they were able to deny multiple waves spot.
5.
I can't roll the clip.
4.
Anyway, also,
3,
besides that, just win some more.
2,
and then we have a video
1.
of the last strategy. Win some. What's going to happen? No. Win some. What's going to happen?
I can't hear. We can't hear.
No, you can't hear.
We can't hear it.
Oh, hold on.
All right. No. That's we're moving on.
Here we go.
I still can't hear it.
I still can't hear it.
Cubby, you're ending Eric. All right, Cubby's time is up. Cubby's time is up.
We're sharing the clip on stream.
All right,
That's
all
all
right.
Valiant
I'll say. We're sharing
effort.
the clip
All right,
on
bring the
Twitter.
camera on me.
Valiant
Bring the
effort.
camera on me. We got to move.
Let's go, Desert.
First one, no backline access is allowed. Bad
We
win
got
some,
hand-drawn
no
pictures.
backline. So that means stuff like Rakan, FlyQuest cannot get stuff like this. Is definitely going to be a more contested pick. This is something that leads into both in-game and in the draft as well. You know, you want want to contest a lot of the deep vision that FlyQuest put. They love to spread it out as much as they can to take over your jungle. And this is how they find a lot of those flanking plays. They're great at making them from Fog of War and utilizing picks such as Nautilus or even the Leona, for example. Now, another one, get the top lane ahead. You have the Chad Olaf player. He works really well on side lane pressure. Champions can carry really well on top of that. I would like to see some of his regular season Camille and Jax play again. If I see Faisal go on the Renekton, I'm going to put a very angry letter over to the Fear organization. I also think that Philip is struggling quite a bit, and Faisal is one of our best top laners at
30 seconds left.
econ into just straight up lane domination and kills. Finally, we come to the last one. Get snappy engage for both Trevor and Perry. Timon and Pumbaa, of course, get Sejuani, as well as the Thresh. A really big one right there. Fierce team fights are often won by how fast their engage can be, as well as how focused a lot of their crowd control that can be. Perry, I'm sorry, you're probably not playing Wukong. You still got the Sejuani. Trevor, if he gets it, he's an insane Thresh player. There's my presentation.
Nice. There we go. That's following a timer. That's following a timer right there from Desert.
Okay, Kangas. Okay.
So what we learned is that pick ban will be very contentious. That's what I at least took away here. Things like the Wukong, things like the Olaf. We've known this about Fear. Now, does FlyQuest either have an answer to them, or are they just willing to take them off the table? That is going to be a big, part of who can pick up the games here in a best of 5. Because of course, draft can change throughout a best of 5, but not just the game itself, but outside of the game, this means a lot to the players because this is historic no matter who wins this, Cubby.
I love this parallel between these two teams because there is actually a lot riding on top 4 for each of these teams. And I think it's really cool how each team really wanted to stay together. I know that top 4 is a big goal for everyone. Let's
take a look at FlyQuest because we actually have a graphic to support this one here. Yep.
So I think for the side of FlyQuest, just as a note, last year Yuji and Spyrax played both splits. Philip, of course, did play in summer for the LCS org, but they took 5th, 6th in PG, finishing. They lost a very close best of 5 against Immortals. Then in summer they lost to 100 Thieves, who ended up making it through top 4. Lost to Team Liquid in the top 4 match, and I thought that was a true final. So FlyQuest, they had a good team last year, but they really couldn't push past into top 4. Even Winsome, who competed with Malice on C9 in spring, took a 5th, 6th finish. So top 4 would be the best for all of these players on the roster, and I know it was a big goal for them coming into the year.
Of course, Masu's a rookie, so he hasn't played. But the core, this would be the furthest that the core has gone, furthest that any of them has gone. Let's take a look at Fear now, because also the stakes are pretty high for them, Deserix.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen what we formerly called amateur teams, now LCS unaffiliated teams, get that far ever since the first Proving Grounds, right? It was no org who won it. Ever since then, it's been pretty much a hard stop coming out at 6th place. EGP, we had a lot of familiar faces over there in both Perry and Faisal in their runs into Proving Grounds. So this would mean a lot for a provisional team because it takes us back to that first split that we had of Proving Grounds, and it shows that this inclusion of these provisional teams, these 6 teams that we added, was a completely immaculate feature to the NACL. Fear are living it up.
Yeah, I know from talking with Perry before, he said, hey, it just goes to show that there's not that big of a difference between academy teams and average teams if we can do this. Other teams have done that before, but being able to be solo second as the second most successful team that's been an LCS unaffiliate would be a big accomplishment for Fear.
It would push them into a bracket of their own. Right now, they're sharing that, tied for the second furthest with 2 other teams. If they get into that 3rd to 4th, at least that, then they can, start to carve out a niche for themselves. It's not always about performance in tournament brackets like this. It's about the development of players, but making it far in a bracket is often a reflection of how strong you are as a core in that moment. So let's get back into the win conditions for the teams because we wanted to highlight jungle. Both of these junglers are very impactful for their team, starting off with Fear. Perry has been on a bit of a roll.
Yeah, Perry has been tearing up with a lot of these ganks that are coming through. I mean, his Wukong has been one of the biggest picks that we've seen so far. He's capable of carrying on that champion, and he knows the every working of Wukong. The dime, being able to turn on a dime and catch people out in the back line, as well as closing out a lot of the choke points with both the Warrior Trickster and the Cyclone. We'll put a lot of priority onto that champion. He's a great playmaker. I think him syncing up with Trevor is one of the most vicious jungle support duos that we currently still have left in the NACL currently. So you're gonna have to watch out for Perry and what he does on the map early.
That clip was insane. Like he matches Ryoma on the Tristana looking for the reset and gets like a 4-chip knockup. Really cool stuff.
Yeah, and Perry's even a jungler. I mean, talking with Yuji before this series, that Yuji says, hey, I think Perry is one of the better junglers in this tournament. He credited Perry for being a jungler that, you know, feels a little bit more standard, but plays really well around his win cons and team. And keep in mind, Perry, he was in the finals of Proving Grounds last summer when he did have to sub in. So I know for Perry, he really wants to emphasize, like, hey, you know, I did make finals with that team, but this is my first full split with this team. I'm young, I'm 18, and the fact that, you know, I'm achieving this, he wants to achieve more, but it's been a great start so far for Perry.
And even in the interview that I was talking with him last night, he was like, look, you know, this is one of my only opportunities to get out of the house. I've never lived out from mom and dad. Now I'm living with the team, the true gamer house experience. We haven't had this in League of Legends in quite a while, at least a team make this deep of a run in a bracket under these circumstances. So really cool to see. No LCS team backing, just Cincinnati Fear helping them out. But FlyQuest Challengers on the opposite side with Yuji. This is a player that we've seen developing throughout last year as well. The Mongolian sensation who hit, you know, challengers in multiple different ladders across different regions on like 120 ping. The original Masu, who he's playing with right now.
I gotta say, if FlyQuest wins, I think that we get the matchup of Yuji versus Mirror, who are the two best junglers we've seen so far in this tournament. Yuji has been ballistic on the Rift. The assortment of picks he's been playing and what he's been doing, it's not just one stage of the game. It is all stages of the game. It is every lane. The way that he is playing on the map with his team, it's a jungler that is in sync with his team, knows what he wants to do. And I love some of the creativity we're seeing too. Like the sweeper, getting a pick here, stuff like this is so good at the later stages as well. It really feels like Yuji is just playing really some of the best league that we've seen from him, and it feels like every split we've seen Yuji, he manages to level up and get better, and this split has been no exception.
And by far, I mean, playoffs Yuji has been buffed on a level that is rivaling the Gamsu buff, that's to say for sure. I remember that Immortals game, he had some of the most brutal pathing on Chad, left him without a Raptor camp for, I think it was like 3 spawns. He's been so active on the map.
And the thing I'll give Yuji credit for is that if you give him any windows to get ahead, he will take full advantage of that, but also if he puts himself behind for his lanes, he can recover really well too.
Yuji versus Perry will be an exciting jungle matchup, to say the least, and we'll get to watch it unfold in a best-of-5 right in front of us, because Pick and Ban is ready. So that means I get to pass it over to the two of you to get us ready and into game number 1.
Game number 1, it's best-of-5s. Cubby, are you ready?
I've been really excited for this one, man. I think both these teams have improved so much throughout this year. A lot of credit goes over to the staffs for each team, all 10 players that are playing in this game. But now we get to see who can hit that goal of top 4 and see if they can still take home the true goal, taking home that trophy.
A reminder, these teams did face off in the regular season. It was Fear who did take the 2-0. Now, I do want to say, a lot of decision-making for FlyQuest did seem a bit off. Different support. You had Keatong back then. Winsome has a different influence for FlyQuest when it comes to their shot calling.
And ever since Winsome has joined FlyQuest, this team has been 14-3. They've been on a tear. But I do want to return to the draft real quick as, hey, look, FlyQuest, they took away the Seraphine, Olaf, and the Wukong. It's been the strategy that most teams have been running into Fear. But the first pick, Vi, I must say, has not been piloted yet by Perry in playoffs, but it was 4-1 in regular season. Vi does feel really strong. And also, they did take away Yuji's Gragas. So now, if he answers Luis Sin, that is a little bit of a counter pick for himself in the 1v1. Of course, Viego is still disabled. So curious to see what FlyQuest does. They will go with that Luis Sin. And now, I'm interested to see if they actually deny that Thresh that you highlighted was so big for Trevor.
I'm not going to grab it for now. They will just grab Masu, the Jinx, right now. But Yuji, being on that Lee Sin, it's definitely going to be a lot of fun. He's very active on the map early with it, has pulled it out before. Did look pretty good against Dignitas, even with that defeat that they had. But there is that Thresh. It's hovered right away, and it is locked in. It's a Trevor special.
Yeah, I'm expecting Aphelios here for Manui. It's all he's played in this tournament is actually Jinx Aphelios on the side of Manui. And I think that why FlyQuest took the Jinx is that they can go Tom Kench here. So it's going to be the handshake of the bot lanes. I do favor the Jinx plus the Tom Kench, and I think Tom Kench gets bonus value against Vi. So I actually like the fact that FlyQuest did go for the Jinx. Now we're just going to have to take the solo laners. My eyes go over towards the Fiora, as that's something that Philip has shown that he can pilot. He's been willing to blind it. Did so against Wildcard. I think that should be denied here from Fear. And for FlyQuest, it's just about, do we want to take the stat check of a tank top lane, or are we going to take mid on 4 and maybe see if we can, counter pick top to stretch the map, which is something that Fly's done really well in this tournament.
I think how FlyQuest try and corner this top lane pick is going to be a little bit more of an interesting take, as Faisal has been very, very powerful over there into the top side. Last time we saw Faisal face off against Philip, it was kind of like a bug against the windshield, how fast Faisal did play over into that top side. So that top lane matchup going to mean a lot. Ban's coming in. That Fiora you were talking about, not going to see the Rift.
And Control Mage is being taken away from Shochi, as we do have the Renekton denied. And for Phillips Champo, I wonder if he might be thinking about Camille later in the draft. That does tell me we could see a mid laner here on 4, or as you're not going to ban Renekton if you want to take something like a Scion, right? So that's something where, or maybe we see Cassante here on 4th. That actually could be something I fear could take away here. They're scared about Cassante. Would be a deny from Faisal a little bit too, as that has been his most played. Wenban tells me that they might be looking for a Scion answer, so again, could be another handshake here.
Top and away, 2 back-to-back coming out for Fear. Still looking for those solo lanes. Next one to come out for FlyQuest. I mean, they do have the Jinx. They have the Tahm Kench. A lot of protection right there. Accelerate the game with a Lee Sin. Next pick coming in is going to be over for the mid lane. Looking to hover it. No, not going for the Talia. Instead, they're going to take the Scion.
I'm expecting the Cassante answer here from Faisal. It's been his most played in the tournament. If not, you could go Cho'Gath. There is really good Cho'Gath value against Tahm Kench as well from the silence, especially in the Lee Sin. But I think that here and Faisal, I preferred that Cassante.
And this will be, I believe, his 4th time playing it in the playoffs thus far. So that does get locked in.
Shochi's pool's been weird, man. He's played a little bit of everything. I think it is worth noting Annie is still on the table. Annie's really fallen off in priority throughout this tournament. That has been the only champ he's played twice. And okay, gonna play it 3 times. So that does add to the early game of Fear. Spyrex could just take Victor here and feel really good, I must say. It'd be definitely a scaling comp and identity for FlyQuest. If you want a little bit more early game and combo, you could try to go for something like the Syndra or the Talia especially. The Syndra needs to scale, but okay.
Hagar.
Control.
Right.
Interesting. Okay, scaling identity still.
Yeah, this is something that was still pulled out against Dignitas. Spyrex going to take this once again. My only concern is, yeah, it's a scaling identity, but I still see an Annie, I still see a Vi, and I still see a Thresh. That is a lane you can play around. It's something Fair have done before, where they just fully collapse onto that mid-roll and get Shochi running.
I think that for FlyQuest's game plan is to try and only be down a wee bit of gold come the mid game. As against the Annie, you're going to have to try and minimize those mistakes, but the scaling of the Vigar going forward is going to be huge. You do have Tahm Kench. Winsom's going to play back and try and save at least one of these carries from that combo. As long as Shochi and Masu are split up, should be okay. And then Masu, of course, does have range advantage. So I think Tahm Kench value is going to be really good this game. I think Sion's value is going to be really good this game. It just come down to if Faisal can get far ahead enough on the top side, honestly, because Cassante is one thing that can blow up these fights and get on these squishies later.
That's the thing. Perry wants Faisal to be ahead, but Yuji's on a good champion to counter a lot of what Perry's looking to bring here. Can match him. Lee Sin is fast when it comes to that early game.
And Yuji's Lee Sin is damn good. I do like Fly as an answer into it, though. Especially once you get the R. You can really lock down Lee Sin and prevent him from hopping around. So we'll see if Perry can do that.
All right, game number 1 now hitting the Rift. Cincinnati Fear versus FlyQuest Challengers. Spam in chat who you think will win. Type in Fear. If you want it for Cincinnati, you want it for FlyQuest, the boys in green, type in FlyC. This match gets you into that top 4.
So big for each of these teams. It would put Cincinnati Fear as the second most successful non-LCS affiliate since the tournament format did change to start off 2021, and then FlyQuest looking for that first top 4 with this core. I know it's something that Yuji and Spyrex have really wanted, something they stuck together to try and achieve as a team this year. Same with Fear, who of course wanted to play as this 5-stack. Top 4 would be really a huge payoff for each of these teams to say, hey, this is what we were able to achieve. We knew we could do this together. And also, of course, still fighting for that title. That when I asked each of these players, Yuji and Perry, about top 4, they're like, yeah, that's cool, but we still want to win,
I think for Spyrex, it's a little bit of a scenic pit stop, I would say, because look who's waiting for them, right? It's TLC. Spyrex would love this win not because of the obvious winning feels good, higher placement, but it'd be a date with destiny, and I don't mean the player. Spyrex was the mid for Maryville University back in 21. After his call-up, APA took that spot, so it would be fun to have that face-off of Maryville mid laners.
All right, we do have UG going for the sped-up AoE clear, thanks to the Scion level 1. Like the fact that Philip utilizing that. It's going to be a mirrored clear, actually, as we do have Perry working his way. I was about to say towards the top side, but instead he's actually going to take a pit stop at red, finishing up at Krugs. We could see an early play bot.
And the Vi is very powerful when it comes to early ganks to that regard. Having your Vault Breaker level 1, having your Crowd Control level 1 does a lot of work to that. And to boot, you do have a Thresh Lantern that can accelerate how fast you get into this. Already the Death Sentence comes out onto Winsome. See a bit of poke damage. Still watching where Perry goes.
Good trade here, though, still from FlyQuest. That said, they don't get this wave in, so they will be stuck very far back. And Perry does have that level 3. He's actually skipping over a small Krug. Will be spotted on a ward here, but Fear get level 2 here, and they need 3 creeps. So Fear's got to kill these creeps fast. One more.
And now here it comes. Gank going to come out from Perry. Looking to set it up onto Winsome. Lands onto Winsome, who body blocks for Masu. Death Sentence not going to land. Flashed away from by Masu, but Winsome's low. Tries to turn it around to get the Nom onto the jungler. Flashing away. Winsome survives.
Now UG's here to answer. Did say that UG has been so good at punishing junglers that have showed. UG skipping over all the topside camps. He's only up 1 camp here. Going to see if he can try and at least make sure his bot lane gets this wave in.
You already got the recall from Perry.
Oh, they're going to go for dodge.
Uchi's wrapping around the back. Minui's on the lower end. Only has about 300 health. Flash available for both of the bot laners of Fear. Same can't be said for FlyQuest. Still going to go for the dive, and Yuji will lead it. No. Taking away that turret aggro. It's Winsome still trying to finish it up onto Minui. And oh my word, Yuji will get first blood.
He's too good, man. He knows that Perry cannot go to that side of the map. He has no camps left to farm, so Yuji just taking the free gank, walks right on up, saves his flash, and what a beautiful juggle from FlyQuest as well, as they find first blood and find that first key to victory, getting the bot lane ahead.
And as you said, Cubby, it was a response to the jungler showing on the map. Yuji's able to show up onto that bot side and set up a play of his own.
Yeah, we'll see if Yuji now can play for his respawn camps. He's going to skip over Blue and Gromp as the Krugs and Raptors are more valuable to him at this point. And Yuji, again, just a beautiful play. Perry shows first. Yuji shows up second and gets more out of it. I got to credit Winsome as well. I think Winsome, him holding on to the thick skin throughout that skirmish, did take away a lot of health from the Fear bot lane. And I think really opened up the opportunity for Yuji to impact that lane himself.
They juggled the tower aggro very, very well to secure that back in as well. Picking up Minui, focusing onto that bottom lane. Good start coming out for Yuji, who has been so phenomenal in playoffs thus far.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, in a map, too, where you have so many handshakes going on, like, we've seen Aphelios Thresh versus Jinx Tom catch so much in playoffs, but also just throughout the history of League of Legends. When you are able to get ahead of the handshake, I mean, those item advantages can mean a big deal. Champions are doing similar things in that lane. I do favor the Tom Kench side of this because you can just stat check people as well. So I think that Masu and Winsome really set up for success, and also FlyQuest is use the small lead bot to build that bridge to the later stages of the game where we said that the comp is going to be more powerful with the range of the Jinx and the power of the Vigar as things go on.
You know, and this does reflect onto their first regular season match, because this was a point that FlyQuest played from. They did focus onto that bottom lane. The difference this time is going to be Minui and Trevor were on the Kaisa Alistair. They were playing to more scale up for that top side. This time, it's a little bit of more selfish scaling with the Aphelios. Still great pick with that Thresh, but a different situation is the grand picture for FlyQuest's attack.
Now, credit to Fear. I know they did lose that first bot lane play, but I think the Force of the Dragon was smart. And FlyQuest, I think, backing off also smart. They know they can't fight the Annie. They can fight the bot lane, though.
Blade comes out from Trevor. Yuji. Ward hops right over to Trevor, who put the Lantern down to get some more. Shield coming in. Sonic Wave. And the strike will resonate in Trevor's heart.
Well done, Yuji. And again, FlyQuest, like, when you are playing the comps that I feel like, you know, you have to wait a little bit, find your time. You can still find your moments to be aggressive. They didn't want to fight Dragon because Annie had 6. She was there, but once they see Annie go mid, they know they can win this bot lane 3v3 again. They force to get something new.
Playing from this bottom end, playing towards this rookie, Masu. It's going to work well. It's a Jinx. Once the Jinx starts getting excited, get all that income going, and Late game starts running. These picks are going to come fast for FlyQuest. They're getting Econ onto Masu.
I really wish my presentation audio went through. We could have heard Winsome's thoughts on Masu. And we're going to save that for Twitter. And, you know, if FlyQuest starts winning this game, it's a fun one.
All out Faisal forces the ultimate of Philip.
Now, this is a rotation coming in. Actually, check Trevor. He has walked towards this top side, going to protect Faisal with this ward. Nice trap wait here by Fear. As Yuji actually spotted bot. Perry could go for a couple of his camps. As we have a little bit of a seesaw going on in the Rift right now.
Winsome with that control
There you go,
ward.
Perry.
Clears it out.
Take those Raptors.
Raptors stolen away. Perry will grab them. And bid Yuji a farewell, who's going to show up a little bit too late to be able to grab. Winsome still set up over in this mid lane, matching where Trevor is. 3v3 onto the side. A battle for resources, and Perry will win out.
Well done by Fear. Just get something small here. As Perry will actually kill this control ward. We are 30 seconds away from that Rift Herald, so each support's trying to leech XP off mid. This is a big deal, putting Trevor so far behind, because he's not going to have level 6 available for an early Rift fight. And with Lee Sin being ahead, he's going to have access to 6 first. So I think Yuji, if he does the Krugs, might actually have access to 6. Yeah, he is. Actually, if he kills this ward, he might get 6 off of it. Yeah. All right, so he's got the R ready. And now Rift fight. Perry's going to have to do one more camp to get that level 6. So if FlyQuest... Oh, never mind. He nets it. FlyQuest actually want to start this. They do have Masu rotating up. So this will open this play up for FlyQuest. And it looks like Fear, a little bit scared to contest right now as Trevor is still rotating.
Oh, Perry's walking into the brush. The rest of Fear are going to be very slow for this. So
late.
Yeah. They're late to the punch, which means this belongs to FlyQuest. Easy pickup right here.
They get fight after, though?
Will Fear go for it? Yuji's there, can ward hop away to safety.
Yuji.
Has a slash on top of that.
No.
Timbers comes down, and Shochi's going to miss it. Faisal hops onto Yuji. Yuji's not worried, though. Has that mobility, and just like that, FlyQuest, they get the Rift Herald.
Really big for Fly. Like, one of the big differences in the drafts that does feature so many handshakes, it is the Annie versus the Vygar mid. Vygar going to be better as time goes on. You get that infinite scaling with the stacks and some insane AP ratios. Annie, you have Lost Chapter and Tibbers. You want to fight now. The fact that FlyQuest net that Rift Herald purely, really through macro play, and also Fear they tried to match. They don't get to take advantage of the red-white of Thelios where you can trade out those plates. So Fear just straight up lose out on the play. And they're down 1.5k gold in the game where we feel like they get outscaled.
A great start coming out for FlyQuest. They're playing it faster. They're beating Fear to the punch on a lot of these neutral objectives. It was great right there because you had Winsome blocking out Perry. Perry was forced to hop away, and it delayed the engage for Fear. And now an accelerated game state is looking to be on the way for FlyQuest once we get this Rift Herald down.
You gotta imagine plates into Masu. Probably going to be the game plan here for the side of FlyQuest is at this point. Be really all about getting Masu that first reset. Really tough for Fear as time goes on to play into Vygar. Plus Jinx, the amount of control you get from the cage. Another comp that's set up for Masu to succeed. Now, as you brought up in the meeting, Deserex, it's actually the only 2 rookie marksmen that we have left in the tournament now, fighting to be the 1 rookie marksman in top 4. We've seen a lot of good things out of Masu, of course. We talked about a lot this split, but also Manui definitely has improved quite a bit.
I love the interview that we had with Perry because he was very, very hyped up on that. Now look at this mid lane. Then Horizon goes out, but Sonic Wave's not going to land, so it ends right there, or does it over the wall. Perry follows onto Yuji. Only going to get a bit of damage. Yuji does have the protection of Winsome.
I'll be honest. I think if Shochi had a stun and was actually able to like stun both Yuji and Winsome, there might have been a play there after that chunk. As again, Fear, we're looking for ways for them to push the pace. As okay, we get. All right. Honestly, this tweet's cool because it's Sierra, but also if you want the context, please go check this out on Twitter. When the FlyQuest social media team says I should have made this myself, it's a banger. So yeah, if you like Star Wars, check out Sierra's Twitter.
FlyQuest. Looking at what's going on over here, Perry wants to actually commit to this gank. He's not going to go for it. There's a lot of vision coming out for FlyQuest. This is something I complimented on them before. They're very, very good at getting deep vision exactly where they need it to. It makes it very hard to play into FlyQuest because they utilize Fog of War so well. Perry's having a hard time trying to set up a gank, but that ward expired, which means Perry's ready to go after Masu. Not too far off, it's going to be Yuji. He's got to get there in a hurry. Oh, cease and desist goes off, lands onto Winsome. Winsome's critically low, will get dropped by Minui, and the Lantern gets Minui to safety. Death Sentence, not going to find its mark onto Yuji. Follows through, resonating strike. Yuji still going for the chase, but the Super Mega Death Rocket Zap will not land, but Yuji Sonic Wave will.
Yuji's Lee Sin's too good, man. It was actually a decent play from Perry. They were able to take down Winsome, but the flash was committed by Minui to get there. He didn't have flash later to dodge out of the rocket, and I loved how Masu, he held the rocket until all the movement spells from Fear were used so he could land it, gets the reset, gets the kills for himself, and
Spyrex says, screw your Bear Tibber, sends him to the respawn, and Shochi's gone. FlyQuest are winning.
Man, Spyrex was like one of the first mid laners last year that was playing the Vygar into Azir when that counter matchup became popular, and it's great to see him bust out Vygar again. The flexibility of this mid laner is huge. It really plays into the flexibility of FlyQuest, who have proven they can play so many strats in this tournament, and this time just playing a little bit of scaling. They're so far ahead in this early game off their team play, Desirux.
This was beautiful right here. We complimented Yuji in his early game, his mid game, his late game, his everything. And Lee Sin is a champion that he is so skilled on. Following through on these plays, still landing that Sonic Wave and showing up to turn this play around for FlyQuest. Gotta love it for Yuji.
Again, just love how Masu, he waited out the flash from Minui, the Lantern, and the flash from Perry to throw out that ult. Now Perry catches Sion, Philip.
They're looking to get Faisal going.
Okay.
3-man dive over on the top side, linking up the support and jungle. Will get returned by Yuji, who has arrived and takes down Perry. Spyrax over the wall, puts down the Event Horizon, stuns no one. Sonic Wave lands, follows through onto Perry. We'll put a ward down a little bit deep as his dying breath. Yuji, what in the world is this performance? Gonna miss a Sonic Wave for the memes. It's all right. It's all right. Don't put that one on the highlight reel. He's still unstoppable.
What? Oh my! Winsome just soloed Minui? What? Okay.
FlyQuest. They have scaled to the holy high heavens. From the regular season to this, they are really taking it to Fear.
I mean, they haven't even scaled, man. They just came to play as a team. FlyQuest, they want to make sure this top 4 is all theirs. And honestly, this has all been off the back of Yuji. Who am I in draft to say that, I like Vi into Lee Sin when I have Yuji on Lee Sin as FlyQuest 5-0-1. He has been everywhere on the map. And all right, we're going to take a peek at the bot lane. Is Masu committed the rocket top? Yeah, Tom Kench down 2 levels. Level 6, though, he's got a sweet kit. No sums on Minui. And Winsome just, he one-taps him.
Winsome knows how to engage. Winsome knows how to fight.
Ah, okay.
Nah.
Yeah, you know what? We have a Tom
Doesn't need the crowd control.
No. We have a Tom Kench mechanic we can work on. Winsome. You can QR and guarantee that you hit the R pixel perfect. Just throwing that out there. That's how nitpicky we're getting out of FlyQuest play, because I really don't have anything else bad to say about them. As FlyQuest, everything that they've wanted on the Rift has been theirs. As Jinx continues to be the main character of this game, Masu getting even more gold for himself as this tower is going to fall in the next wave.
The Kraken Slayer's done all this gold being allocated over to Masu. Should be able to take down that turret quite soon. If they want to get more gold, they can try and contest this Rift Herald, but Fear brought forward to the fight. 5. This Faisal is over in that mid-river bush, cutting off where Spyrax is going. But it looks like FlyQuest want to take this. Teleport coming out from Spyrax. Will show up on the back end. Still going to secure it, but can they deny the eye? Perry looking to hop out, walks right into the Event Horizon. Stunning on Shochi, puts him down, and there comes Yuji, dominating Perry. Minui falls to the side. Faisal can't even get into the fight. FlyQuest will win it and claim the Herald. Oh, well, not claim the Herald. They can't claim the eye. Already secured by Fear. It's all right. Let's get Faisal instead.
This game is a murder, Desirux, as, oh my goodness, Masu. One more rocket to the back for Faisal. It's 12-2. It's a 7k gold lead, about to be even more as FlyQuest. What else is there to say about this game 1, Desirux? FlyQuest just walked into the Rift today. They took all Fear's lunch money early on.
Yeah, they're not just lunch money, as they put him in the river, upside down, gave him a slushy, the whole shebang, Cubby. This is a brutal game, and it's amounted to a 7.6k gold lead 15 minutes into it, Cubby.
Yeah, we're reaching like super wedgie territory here, as FlyQuest are just being the big boys here on the Rift. And guess what? I love, you're like, hey, they've scaled. It's like, no, they haven't even scaled yet, man. They just came to play as a team. You're going to see another fight. I mean, they're up a lot of gold at this point. Fear They have to fight around the anti-spike, but Yuji finds the interrupt, tries to kick him into the cage. Shochi just gets one-tapped as Trevor is trying to lantern him out of the cage. Spyrax finds him. They one-tap Manui too. This game, there's really nothing else to talk about, man. We were so excited for this best of 5. They're like, all right, can Fear, like each of these teams, they credited around the league for having good team play. Can we see, the macro, each of these teams go toe-to-toe? Can Fear actually take down FlyQuest? Game 1, FlyQuest wants to give Fear no windows into this series, man. They are obliterating them.
Yeah, they don't fear the Reaper. FlyQuest are pretty much banishing Fear from the map right here and right now. Look at that vision line now set up for FlyQuest as they go after the next neutral. They got to transfer that over to this bottom quadrant. It does look like Fear want to make a contention right here. And some Spy is lonesome, so Flay comes out from Trevor. Death sentence to follow. Will not land the Vault Breaker. Wins some side
It's
steps
not playable anymore.
Oh no, Perry. I'm not sure if you want to go forward. We'll still take it with the cease and desist. Has Faisal right there. Oh, trying to collapse in. Minui gets dismantled on the back end, though. There comes Spyrax. Drops the Event Horizon. Dark Matter landing on the head of Fear. Perry still trying to step up to the mid laner of FlyQuest, but he has protection in the name of Philip, who's holding the line, but Fear will still take the fight.
Okay, I think that's the one way that Fear can win fights, finding double stuns onto Tom Kenyon.
Oh! Spyrax finds another. Fyrax going for another. Death sentence intercepted by Philip. Vault Breaker in the opposite direction for Perry. And FlyQuest, they're hungry. They smell blood in the water, and they're able to get another kill.
Yeah, they just want to delay them from recalling so they can take the dragon for themselves. That was a good find, though, from Shochi. He found the stun on both Tom... Oh, my God, that would have hit. Okay. Found the stun on both Tom Kench and Masu. They were able to one-tap Jinx during that duration. So I think that really is all that Fear can do to try and win. That was the game plan coming into this once you did see the Tom Kench. But afterwards, I mean, yeah, still no hope on the map, really, for the side of Fear. And we're just going to have to see if they can find more of that. I still think this game's done and dusted, Deserex, but that was a nice comeback from Fear.
They say they've scaled now?
Good attempts. No, we need 3 items on Jinx.
All right.
I mean, they've scaled in terms of like how they're playing as individuals, but I gotta respect the champs of the game.
I don't know. 403, 614.
Yeah. He's cooking.
Never seen a late game Lee Sin carry. And when you get a strong enough lead, you don't really have that fall off point. You're just a complete threat and a menace. Shochi, Minui, gonna be worrying about that.
Lee Sin's one of those champs where you scale the skill you have. And I feel like, so if that's the case, I do feel like Yuji was scaling from 30 seconds in. Oh, they can find double stun.
Shochi, this is the one right here. They're able to lock it down, and they find Masu. Winsom's going to follow, and that's 2 kills picked up by Cincinnati Fear.
Okay, well done from Fear. Again, this is more stuff they can kind of take with them. I still think going into the next game, but if this keeps on happening, Winsome, Masu getting caught again, trying to set up Baron control. Really nice pick from Fear. I think that FlyQuest, before they cross the middle of the map, they have to wait to see if Fear, that core shows on the way. They did have push, so showing there was a mistake. If Fear are going to try and take an objective bounty of it, play from them.
Yeah, Faisal looking for a Spyrax right now. Ultimate going to be popped out from Philip, who's trying to stop this tower take, but it's already gone. Objective bounty out to Cincinnati Fear.
Okay, that gold lead went from 7K to 4K. Fear needs to keep on making good plays from this. I still think things are grim. Still think they get outscaled. That's a death cap now on Vygar. You can say he's scaled. Deserex, go.
He's scaled!
Okay. Yeah, Spyrax is scaled into the game. Now, for Fear, though, this was their win con, right? It stun up both the Tom Kench and the Jinx. Make sure you split them up in the fight so you can one-tap whoever you find. As we do have Baron being started. Yeah, this is spotted. Okay.
Yeah.
I think FlyQuest pull off from here.
Yeah, get scryed out.
No need to get too funky here.
They don't have that much damage to take it out in a...
Oh, Masu.
At least in the timely manner that they want to. Masu does have the range to do it right behind the Baron.
We're getting risky.
Oh, closing out the choke point is going to be Spyrax, but there comes Tibbers from Shochi. Lands it onto Spyrax, is taking one down. Death sentence is going to go out. Just make smash, lands onto nothing. Masu is the target. Cease and desist onto Masu. Will flash away, looking for the other pick. It's going to be onto Spyrax. Spyrax goes down, but Masu's still alive, and he's peppering him with rockets. Faisal finds the mark and will take down Masu. Death sentence goes out, and Fly are running away. They're running to the hills. They're running for their lives, because the iron of Fear strikes true.
I gotta say, FlyQuest, like, I get forcing the Baron, you can take it, but again, there's no reason for them to play the game this fast. They have scaling as time goes on. I feel like they're giving Annie a lot of windows to actually play into this, and credit to Fear, man. I was calling this game done and dusted. They're out of it. The last 6 minutes, Fear found legitimately good plays against FlyQuest, and a lot of it has been splitting up Tom Kench from the carries. So this time, again, they find the double stun onto Tom Kench. They almost one-shot Winsome before he can eat Spyrax, and regardless, they were able to get on Spyrax after a nice flip from FlySol. Harry takes down the Vigar immediately, and Masu, I don't know, he walks in the range of the play. I think if he actually plays from Manui there, he has a chance to get another reset and play up. So I think a rare mistake from Masu in the team fight. And Fear take the win. There's only one Baron left.
I mean, that was a lot of pressure coming out from Perry as well, who dived right onto Masu at the back end of that, forcing out the flash of Masu, taking away those resources. It's something Perry is fantastic at. He knows how to catch out big carries. Did it in the Golden Guardians one where it looked very grim for Cincinnati Fear, but it's Perry and Trevor landing the crowd control onto the marksman, showing that once again.
And honestly, for Fear, they've woken the hell up. I gotta say, the first 15 minutes were real bad for them. They've played really well the last few. We need to see that from Fear at the beginning of the game, though, because you make any mistakes in a team that's as good and playing as well as FlyQuest is in this tournament, you will not move on to top 4. I think Fear have been fantastic in the last few minutes, but we just need to see better early games from them moving forward in the series. Definitely something to look out for, but teams across the league always credited and respected Fear, even with their provisional status, as a team that did play together. That is the biggest compliment, the first thing you hear from teams around the league that talk about Fear. We've really seen that in the last few minutes, as this has been a grim game, and their team playing commitment to similar targets has actually made this game pretty interesting.
They are definitely a provisional team that, head and shoulders with the way that they put their infrastructure, with the way that they developed these players. It's paying such big dividends right now. We already know they're so strong when it comes to doing these team fights and knowing how to get those priority targets. Well, now that they've been able to move the game into that direction, this is Fear's dance, and they're looking to make FlyQuest match the step.
Okay, we have a trade. Philip's going to try and get out of here. He's actually in a little bit of trouble. As...
Right.
Take it. So that was the top turret for the Dragon. This will be sole point for FlyQuest. Fear opting to not fight. I think that is a little bit reasonable. They are really close to having a death cap on Annie. I think they'd love to get another item onto Aphelios too, who's working towards what looks to be an LDR. So again, I don't think that Fear outscales this game, but I do think that Fear, given the map setup, they'll take the gold and then try and just fight for the soul coming up here.
Waiting for the next fight that Fear can bring. Flash is going to be up for Shochi quite soon. So if we can have that up, will be available for both Baron and Dragon when both of those are going to spawn. Very, very big cooldown for an Annie to have that Flash Tibbers.
I will say, curiously enough, we do have a redemption coming out from Trevor's Thresh. I think I would rather see a McHale's, because if someone gets caught, you get a reset. But speaking of getting caught...
Philip puts down the sweeper a little bit too late. Sees 3 silhouettes, and... yeah, he's caught dead to rights.
I think they want to give it to Manui, too. Okay, never mind. Not going to get it in time. Yeah, Sweeper was a little bit late there as, Philip, he presses the red AoE circle and gets the red alarm. That he is indeed in trouble, and Fear find another good pick in a side lane. This will lead to another objective bounty. So Fear continue to make good plays across the map. They do lose the top inner for this, but again, with bounties, it is somewhat trading evenly and removing someone from Fly off the map. So I really like the plays again from Fear.
Yeah. I mean, the old thing is the team that's ahead does not want to trade 1 for 1. It gives a lot of opportunities for the team that's behind to get income on the right areas to try and mount a comeback. For Fear, now it's even more true with objective bounties being there. Faisal getting a lot of that. Has proven to be really good at utilizing this economy that Fear has put onto him. So expect to see that Cassante doing some work within these next couple of fights, which saw Baron in a minute and Dragon in 3.
Yeah, actually, get a rare deep breath here in this game, Deserux, as 28 kills in 26 minutes has quietly been a banger. As again, Fear. This was a team that was down 7k gold like 15 minutes in. The fact that the game is where it's at, I think a lot of credit deserved to fear. Fly definitely has not played this game perfectly as Masu.
Oh, Perry on a dime goes after Masu, but the Devourer is there from Winsome to keep Masu alive. Now the bell is rang. Philip has arrived, going after Perry, going golden. Out comes the redemption, but look at Minui. Minui's unchecked. He's laying it right into Philip. Spyrax trying to get away. He will get taken down by Faisal, and Minui still popping off. Fear leading the charge. They're going forward, even with the bell ringing. It tolls.
Oh my God.
For FlyQuest, Fear take the fight.
I mean, you can always save one person as Tom Kench. The Spyrax wasn't saved. It was Masu, and now they're still running for the hills. Watch Masu. He's the only damage. He's dead.
It's a flank.
God, Fear.
It's a flank. It's not working, though. Fear up taken to the bot lane of FlyQuest crumble. Fear onto Baron.
Fear is playing out of their minds this game. How do you come back from a 7K gold deficit with this comp? Faisal deserves so much credit for how he's playing in these fights. They just have to deny Yuji for getting in.
Oh, they go right onto him. They need to kill him first. It doesn't matter if he's in. The Baron's not low enough. Fear grab it.
It's a clean ace for Cincinnati Fear, man. They're taking this game one, turning it all the way around. I thought this game was done and dusted. If you had any questions coming into this, whether or not this would be a competitive series or not, Fear, they're here to answer all of them with this game one with what they've managed on the Rift.
What a comeback performance. They have a gold lead now. Cincinnati Fear, as you said, it was a deficit they had to fight back from, but the team fighting from this squad and how snappy these engages are really turns it for Fear.
It's a good save for FlyQuest. Like, Masu is able to auto. You have Philip in the middle of everything. But the Rockets connect, and he's doing a lot of damage, and then Spyrax gets hooked. No one is standing in front of Spyrax. Spyrax was too far up there. Faisal one-shots him with the Cassante. One of the big difference makers in this fight, because when you do go all out, you can find this two-threat comp, and they are only able to save Jinx, right? So then Masu's low from Tibbers running for the hills. We see some of the power from Annie in this, as Shochi did so much inanimate damage with the Tibbers, and now it's just corralling sheep in FlyQuest. I mean, what a game for them. This is tough to come back from in a best of 5, man. You have to queue up for maybe going down 0-1 when you have a 7K gold lead. The fact that Fear has done this, man, this is really sending a message to FlyQuest, as Fear has done all year to our challengers teams that, you know, we're here to compete. You cannot take us for granted.
Spyrax looking for a pick onto Perry.
Oh,
he's going to use the Primordial Burst on him. We'll get him with the Q. That's a big pick now coming up, but Fear's able to return one right back onto Philip. Looking for more. Oh, they're trying to find him. Minui's unchecked. Oh, it's not enough. Cincinnati Fear, even without their jungler, one of the biggest playmakers on their team, they're still finding fights. They're still finding wins.
It was Trevor, the Rylai's prevented Winston from getting in range of Masu, and also Trevor hooking Tom Kench made it so that Masu was 100% going to go down. Fear at least going to get an inhibitor. Trevor's trying to stop the bases. How much can they get?
The inhibitor going to go down. Teleport channeled away. Trevor looking to stop the recalls. Trevor's going to fall right here. Yuji will be able to grab that one.
They need to get Dragon. They have to get Dragon. Dragon is at Soul. I think Fear have stayed a little bit too long. Shoshi does have Empowered TP, so he's going to reset and try and get back Faisal. He does not have access to that TP. So, Yuji.
Just got to be careful about this. Pathmaker could block a lot of what Yuji wants to do. Teleport going to come out. Now here comes Philip into the mid lane. You got to watch out for Minui. Spyrax is closing in on him. Steps away from the event horizon. And now Philip is low. Pulled right back in. Down a man will be FlyQuest.
And I don't think they can contest Dragon anymore. So Philip TP's in too far, and Fear finds something else. They've turned this game around. 10K gold. I need a gold grab by the end of this, man. This is going to be one of the craziest games that we've had so far in Challengers League, regular season included. I cannot believe that Fear has turned around this game. Again, you're looking at a Vygar plus Jinx. You have range advantage if you are FlyQuest. You can play slow control fights with the cage. FlyQuest played too fast, too early, and Fear were actually able to turn things around, swing things 10K gold. What a crazy game to start off this best of 5, man.
They know how to manage as a squad. We've heard it in different interviews where they juggle who's going to be the main character. They know how to how to balance that, who should step down, when they should step up, and it's showing right now. Even Minui, someone who was kind of lampooned at the first half of the split, didn't really get that much credit. 8, 5, and 8 after being focused by FlyQuest over down in that bottom end. This is an amazing performance coming out from Cincinnati Fear.
I really want to see FlyQuest build McHale's. I think Winston actually does need one, because again, the Annie, Thresh, there's just threat overload every fight we're seeing Masu, Spyrax just miss vision a little bit or get caught out because of the flanks, the angles from Fear. I think that Winsome, he's not going for that item second. I don't know if he's even going to be able to get it third, but I do think that's actually a need for this game. As, again, you have a 2-threat comp for FlyQuest, and even Philip on the Scion in the front line. With the changes to Thresh, we have seen how lethal the death sentences can be against tanks. You just keep on getting the hook reset. And look at Trevor's scoreline, man. He's 2-3-17. Trevor, I think the biggest thing about Fear, his KP in playoffs is 88%. I think that says a lot about how Fear plays and how important Trevor is to this team. And his Thresh, that's now 5 plays that he's had for Fear. It's been so good in this tournament, and a big part of the reason that Fear find themselves now in this game.
The pick of Cincinnati Fear, a lot of that comes from Perry, but a lot of that also comes from Trevor when Perry's not able to clutch it in. These two have been great at finding engages for Cincinnati Fear, and now they set up over on this top side to try and find another one, but FlyQuest are going to contest the siege.
Sieging against FlyQuest still very dangerous. One mistake in the Jinx, she gets a reset, and it's so easy for FlyQuest to find a reset with the upfront damage that Vigar has at this point of the game.
Gotta watch out for Trevor. Can take a back angle for that death sentence. This Fog of War plays so well for Thresh. And still able to defend. That's the good thing about that Vigar. You do have some great wave clear. Also some great threat with that Event Horizon. Vigar, it did scale, as we had mentioned earlier, Cubby, so gotta pay Spyrax's respects.
Yeah, it's scaled pretty early into the game, but again, I don't know how Fear are actually back in this one. As Perry and Fear, man, I mean, this team just continues to surprise us.
No.
It's like every expectation, like I always say, this is like the easiest team for you to talk about this year because the expectation versus the reality of what they are, it's just so different and so positive in their favor. And they continue to surprise us. Like there's nothing this team can't do to surprise us. Is Trevor.
Oh, Trevor gets a death sentence. It's going to be on to Philip, pulls him in. Trevor's taking more damage than Philip is, but now with another death sentence landing, Shochi throwing down the Tibbers, not able to get Masu. Devour's there, the damage return. Perry's unable to escape. Super Mega Death Rocket going to go right down the mid lane. Minui looking for the damage, but Yuji with the Dragon's Rage to clutch it out for FlyQuest. He will go down to Shochi, however. Death sentence going through. Looking for it. Faisal! Faisal! He finds Masu! He'll go after Spyrax, and he'll clutch a team fight win for Cincinnati Fear!
TP's coming in. They're just going to try and take Spyrax off the map. If they get him late, they can really deny his respawn for the Dragon as Faisal... Oh, hold on. Spyrax still running for the hill. Sochi, yeah, he's got the move speed. That's going to be a stun. He gets it. Faisal's in the base. Yuji, he's up in 20. Philip's up in 5. I think they can get at least one Nexus turret. I don't know if they can get more. They need to take the Dragon still. It is soul for FlyQuest.
What a performance right there out of Cincinnati Fear.
Back. Okay, that's
Trevor.
Weird.
Just walked right up with those death sentences, and that's that ability haste, man. He can throw them back to back to back. So many of those landed.
Trevor's Thresh has been a game changer again. I think it's something that you have to deny moving forward or have a McHale's for. That's part of why I was so adamant about the McHale's here. It will be a Knight's Vow for Winsome, which will be nice in protecting Masu. As, okay, they check the Baron with a rocket. It's going to be started right after, though, by Perry. FlyQuest should know about this. They might try it and stall out this Baron and go for the Dragon as FlyQuest, they don't have map positioning, and they're actually going to give this up. So they're going to try and fight through mid to prevent Fear from getting the Dragon as FlyQuest want the soul.
They don't have vision in there, and we saw what Trevor can do. Trevor's taking a good hard look at all these teams that have snuffed him in the past.
Oh my god.
Man, and he's telling them, get off my lawn. He's walking all the way over towards this top side. FlyQuest are setting up over where that Drake is. They're going to send a few members back. Yuji and Masu. Masu going to stay on that Drake. Perry backing up over to the mid lane to take that inhibitor.
They at least are going to lose the top inhibitor turret. That's for sure down, but I really like what FlyQuest did. They got Spyrax back early, so it does make the siege a little bit harder in Fear. Even with the Dragon being taken, they feel like they cannot step all the way up, so the top inhibitor turret, it doesn't even fall because FlyQuest were able to get back soon enough. And FlyQuest, again, they have Soul now, so that is a lot of power. We talk about the range. It means you can apply Infernal Soul more with the Jinx, with the Vigar. Not to mention, triple Infernal Soul scaling on Vigar. That's pretty damn good.
Could we take a look at the AP ratios of Spyrax right now?
Yeah, can we just click on
not the
Spyrax real
just the
quick?
AP in general. Oh, wait. Yuji's going in. He's caught by the death sentence. Oh, Yuji's down! It's another pick! Pulled in is Philip, taking the damage from the decimating smash, but the heal is there from the redemption. And now Faisal hops on to Philip. Parry looking for more. Dinner bell's going to be rung, but it's Philip who might be for dinner. Will walk forward. Spyrax pulled in, gets devoured by Winsome, and Fear will take one, but can't continue the siege.
Isol's been so big on the Cassante, and the death sentence again!
Again from Trevor! Spyrax is low, but he will not fall. Gets one on the Shochi. There goes Primeval Burst. Finally, Spyrax going down. The resets. Excited is Masu, the rookie, looking to do work onto Faisal. Needs one more rocket to finish it off.
Zap?
Maybe the zap on the back end. Could he find it? No, there's not enough move speed. There's no cooldown on the Super Mega Death Rocket. Faisal's going to get out.
Oh, Fear still. You can see how it's tough for them to end this game. And I gotta say, Desirux, we have a 50 kill banger for game one, man. It's been a 15k gold lead swap. It's got to come down to Elder. That's the only way this game can end. It has to come down to the Elder. So many plays have been made across the map in this game, but I still feel like the biggest difference maker has been Trevor's Thresh. It's making fights so hard for FlyQuest. He even was able to catch Yuji there. He makes Philip's life hell on the front line. Philip just cannot escape all these death sentences and the chain CC from Fear. As we're going to take a second look at this defense, this is after Yuji fell. So Trevor already made one big play. Now he's hooking in Philip. I love how Shochi ignores the Scion, goes right on the Spyrax. He does trade his life for this. But I feel like it is still the right idea, as you can see how much damage Spyrax is doing. He did force Manui out, as well as taking out the Annie. That's what enabled Masu to get the reset and chase down Faisal. So Spyrax, even going down, did do good work in that fight as the Vygar. But you can just see, A, how difficult it is for Fear to finish this game against Vygar, but B, how damn impressive Trevor's Thresh has been and how big it's been for Fear in closing the gap this game.
That's 1,268 AP on Spyrax right now, Cubby.
He actually stole the tier. He's not going for the Seraphs. He's actually going for the last item, Anathema's Chains. So that's more CC duration when he does hit the cage on whatever member he picks. And I gotta imagine he's gonna pick Annie, given the Scimitar being in the inventory for Manui.
Cincinnati Fear. An intense game from them. We do have a moment of reprieve as we head towards our 40th minute.
It's a rarity.
Yeah. What a banger this game has been. Faisal now on the recall. We still have 2 minutes before Baron does come up. So not too much to be had over here. You were doubting Fear. Y'all were doubting Fear. You know, not anymore. It's been far changed. It's been a completely different story from this squad. I don't know what's going on in that team house to make this team so exponential in the development, but it's been fantastic.
What kind of IGN is Thicky Buddha, by the way? That was... I know I'm not gonna spend any more time.
That's maybe the first slide of your PowerPoint.
I gotta throw that out. Like, what is this? Is okay, Philip gonna get chained again?
Oh, Philip!
Oh my God!
He's gone. He's absolutely gone. FlyQuest, what do they have left?
I mean, tank's down. You gotta imagine that's gonna be top inhibitor maybe falling. I still don't know if they can even siege onto the Nexus turret though. Just given the Vygar and how tight the map gets when he gets to that point. It makes it really easy for Vygar to front the back. It's so tough. Oh, they're going to use Redemption to get rid of
Redemption to pop the Veil.
Okay.
Nice move right there. Spyrax is going to need extra protection. Winsome is there. Has the ultimate available, so he can protect his marksman. Just depends on who Fear decides to collapse on. There's other plays where you can try and maybe get a death sentence, bait out that Devour. Get something burnt away. Oh, Faisal! Oh, there it is. 3-man Timbers found by Shochi! It will clip the wings of FlyQuest, and the Grim Reapers of NACL have just taken game one of FlyQuest.
Game of the split, Challengers. Fear, I do not know how you came back from a 7k gold deficit game one of this best of 5 to take down FlyQuest. I said this was going to be a FlyQuest 3-1. Yesterday, everything's out the window. That was the craziest game I've watched all split. It beats the Ziggs backdoor. It beats whatever wildcard did the split. Cincinnati Fear, you are bonkers. You continue to impress us. This team continues to go on one of the wildest runs we've seen, Desirux. And this best of 5, I cannot wait for the rest of this, man. This is going to be crazy.
This is going to be so exciting, man. This was a banger game number one.
God.
My goodness, man. Cincinnati Fear, what a way to come back. What a way to bring it back from a 7K deficit. They bring it right on back and take the game. We're going to take a moment to catch our breaths and get ready for game number 2. But meanwhile, we'll have our Rally Cry halftime show with Kangas.